now. So count us in.
We are live.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 14th Wales Jazz Curation Show. This week, we've got a special guest, DJ Lethal Skills, who is a fantastic, stellar Steemian. He'll be giving 2 picks for us from posts he's found on Steemit. We will all be doing 2 posts each. There's 10 posts we go through. If you're new here, I should explain that you get, you can't promote your own post here, but you do get Wales shares for listening, and there'll also be prizes. There's a competition that we do halfway through, and DJ Cubby will be doing her DJ Chatterbox section halfway through as well. But first, let me say hi to DJ Lethal Skills. DJ Lethal Skills. I'm going to call you DJ to save time throughout this, because if I keep saying DJ Lethal Skills throughout, the whole program will be here till 4 in the morning. So DJ, how are you doing?
Hello, Nick. I'm doing great. First of all, thank you for making me host with you guys. I'm very excited to this, and I'm doing great. Being here for 4 months on Steemit, coming here as being part of the web shares to present my post definitely helped me so much. So now being with you guys, helping others, it's a great opportunity, and I'm looking forward to that.
It's a great honor to have you here. For those of you who are not familiar with DJ, he came on this show some months ago when he was selected, in fact, and he was so good that multiple judges each week were selecting his posts. That's how good he was. So I'm sure he would have been a star anyway, but we met him when he was a rising star rather than the superstar he is now. But anyway, it's great to have you here. Now, would you be able to tell us a little bit about your Steemit journey that you've gone through so far?
Yeah, actually, I was introduced to Steemit by a fellow Steemian friend of mine. He's also a rapper. His name is Vandal. He's the guy who did this song called Rap Crypto. If anyone heard it, it was like the first hip-hop song talking about crypto stuff. So there was a Steemit. He kept telling me about Steemit, and then I opened my account in June, and honestly, first time I came to Steemit, I was bored because the interface was a little bit very basic. It kind of like reminded me of my first internet experience in 1995, 96. So I gave it a shot, and then I went to Vandal. I told him, bro, I mean, it's a very like basic website. What's the whole deal about Steemit? And then I wasn't active for like a month, and then the competition came. So he's like, why don't you remix my song and put it as your first entry in Steemit and check it out? So I came for the producers battle. I pitched my track, and I was a winner in the battle. And I felt the community, how warm it was, and the kind of feedback I'm getting over my music. So the experience on Steemit that I have was something I've never experienced on any previous social media platform as a musician or as a community member, just in general. And then I got hooked. I mean, I came for the battle, and I got hooked for the community, and my journey started with wheelchairs because this was one of the first places I came to, and definitely it helped me to meet a lot of amazing people, and I learned so much. So thanks to all of you guys,
Well, it's brilliant to have you here. And if you're listening and you've got questions for DJ, send them to me. And if I use them, you will get some hair shares sent to you as well at the end of the show.
It's more goodies.
I have a question.
Bring it.
All right. So, DJ, tell us a fun fact about yourself.
Well, okay. I come from a computer engineering background. And then at the age of like 7, 8 years ago, I decided to retire early and just dedicate myself to the music industry because that was my passion growing up as a kid. I've always been into music. The fact is, I grew up during the civil war in my home country. I'm from Beirut, Lebanon. So when I was born, there was war. So my mom gave birth for me in the shelter. So I'm a shelter-born baby. That's a fact. Nobody knows about me a lot.
Wow.
It's like you're from Fallout.
Yep, on the stairs. On the candlelight even, there was no electricity. It was a very interesting experience, but I don't remember it obviously, but that's what they tell me.
Do you ever go back to Beirut, DJ?
Yeah, I do visit back home a couple of times a year. I go to visit my family. I'm also part of Red Bull. I do a lot of workshops for DJs. We teach them to get ready for the battles, like DJ competitions, tournaments, and whatnot. So I do travel a lot actually across the Middle East and home.
Wow, that's impressive. So this is a big deal for you. This is your whole life, it's music and making it.
Yeah, honestly, it was like always a dream for me, and I'm so blessed to be able to live out of my passion, just do music, teach music, work in music every day, create sound. I mean, I hate politics. I'm an activist and through the music, though. You know, I use music as a mean to uh, share my thoughts, what's going on, my views. So yeah, music is always a great way to express for me.
You know, it sounds like you dreamt your dream for so long that it became reality.
Exactly. I'm so much into the law of attraction. I used to read so much about it, and then honestly, since I started, I know somebody talked about this here in one of the previous webinars. We discussed that, and it works. You just need to be consistent, always think positive, keep focusing on what you want to achieve, and you keep calling it every day, and it comes closer by the second.
That's inspiring to hear. I haven't met many people who are fully into the law of attraction. Did you use something like The Secret, or was there something else you learned it from?
Actually, I read The Secret and I saw the video when it came out, the movie. But I've always been reading. I'm so much into the stuff. So I just like I meditate. I do breathing, stretching. I do a bit of Tai Chi. Given I'm in Asia, we have access to learn all the stuff. So being calm and breathing and controlling your thoughts definitely helps you achieving things. A lot of things.
It's interesting. I suppose Asia has a different spirituality to the West. It's broader, less Christian focused. Really interesting. Right. I should tell you all about the competition that we have this each week. So last week the competition was you have to take a photograph of yourself, and you have to show up a piece of paper that clearly says Whale Shares on it. Last week there were two joint winners, and the competition was to take a picture of yourself with as little clothing on as possible. Obviously we didn't need to see anything explicit, but we had some nice entries. The week before that we had even more entries, and that was wearing as many clothes as you can. Perhaps that was easier because it was cold. This week I thought I don't want to be too challenging to put too many people off. So the competition is to send a picture of yourself holding your favorite object. Nice and easy, and you can surprise us or make us laugh.
What if my favorite object is a golden Ferrari?
It's Photoshop.
And you better hope your crypto moons and you go and buy some very quickly, because it's or you could lie. You could lie about your favorite object as well.
Or you could
That's
take
not
a picture
fair.
of your favorite object and take a picture of the picture.
Oh, that's really smart actually. But I will have to run to find some Ferraris now that are
Wait.
golden as well.
We're very, very open, free form here, so we can interpret, well, you can interpret that however way you wish, and then we will judge it whether it's good enough. If it makes us laugh, then you get extra bonus points. But anyway, that's the competition. So when you've got your picture ready, send it to
Me?
me. Or yeah, send it to Linda, in fact, because then she will put them into a collage. But anyway, oh well, look at that, fantastic! I want one of those. Right,
Wow.
should we start with our first post? Cubby, let's start with you as we always do.
Hello, friends. This is my first post. Let me just switch my screen real quick here. And I selected this post because he is a relatively new user, and he talks about his trip throughout Barcelona. And he was telling that it took $50, a checked bag, and 3 hours for his trip. Now, I don't know if that's what he spent a total of $50. He made it sound like it was. He did spend some time at a friend's house, which I think is how he saved some of that money. But he talks about how much it cost to buy tickets. He talks about the different places he's seen. He took lots of lovely pictures. Of course, you guys know I'm all about formatting and making sure that it's aesthetically pleasing to the eye and having good content. And so I thought that he did a relatively good job of spacing out his wording, placing pictures, using different kind of formatting to keep you engaged. And when you first look at it, you kind of scroll through just to look at the pictures, but if you take the time to read it, it's quite interesting to see how he describes the different places he went to, the experiences, what it was like to be around the crowds. It's kind of like in awe of all the things he saw. And he took a pretty good pictures as well with it. And he makes it sound like it's so cheap to travel in Europe, and in my mind, it's extremely expensive, but maybe it's not. And he just knows the secrets of traveling on a budget. But when I first found this, it was less than $1, and I just could not believe that such masterpiece had such little money on there. And I thought I would share it with all of you guys. A lot of his posts are really interesting like this. So if you like travel blogs, he's definitely one to check out.
Interesting architecture in Barcelona from the pictures.
We've studied about this architect. Everybody knows this architect, this funny buildings architect. What's his name?
Gaudi.
Yeah, exactly. He does amazing job.
Gaudi, this is a very you post because of the formatting, but I've also realised you're a travel bug. You like pictures of places that are elsewhere. Could that be true?
I do enjoy good pictures, and you are right. I do enjoy a well-formatted post. But what really, really captivated me with this is I live a debt-free life, and that's always been a commitment to myself ever since graduating college. So reading his blog and reading how much he spent and how wise he was with his finances, I think is what really captivated me about it, because the pictures are lovely, the trip sounds phenomenal, but he did it on a budget. So it felt like I related to him. I was like, this is a trip that maybe even you and I could take and not spend a ridiculous amount of money. So that was probably my number one reason for selecting it.
You know what, Kabi? When we go to the wedding, we're gonna take a detour and we're gonna go to Barcelona as well. It will be cheaper for you and me.
Excellent idea. I cannot wait. I already have like my dates booked in August. I'm coming, Nick, with or without that invite, but I would really appreciate an invite.
No, you'll get it. Don't worry. I'm just
Both
so
of us.
surprised with this stuff. All three of you are getting invites. Hey, Spain is incredibly cheap, partly because their wages are quite low. So I remember, like in the UK, a bottle of vodka in the shop might be 14 pounds. So that's like 16, 17 euros. In a Spanish supermarket, it was €3. So that gives you gives an indication of how much cheaper some things are. So yeah, it's pretty cheap.
Yeah, Spain is pretty amazing. Even in the touristy areas, like they had the Canary Islands, even there it's cheap. You know, even though it's not a real part of Spain, it's kind of right next to Africa. There it's much cheaper as well. So that's cool.
You should try Southeast Asia also. In Malaysia, it's very cheap in here. And there's islands in Langkawi side and beautiful stuff to do, and it's super cheap. $1 US dollar to the ringgit, which is Malay, is 4 local dollars. So you can do quite a lot with a small portion of a budget you need to go to Europe.
Can you get girls for that?
Oh my gosh.
You can get ladyboys with that.
That's good.
You don't want girls when you go on holiday, do you, Catherine?
What's that?
Did you ask if you could get girls for not much money on holiday?
Yes. I was just wondering.
Is that what you look for on holiday?
No, I just felt like asking.
For a friend.
No, not for a friend, not for anybody. Actually, I just wanted to know.
Well, anyway, that post I think was very good. Yeah, a typical Cubby choice. If you agreed it was good, by all means, give it an upvote. TJ, we've got a question for you from D. Hayor, who would like to know, have you got any tips for someone who would like to become a DJ?
Well, to become a DJ, obviously you should have passion to music, and mainly you just need to, a lot of the new, I don't know, how old are you? I don't know much about you, but usually most people get into DJing, they skip the foundation, and they just want to straight, play in the big festivals and take big pictures with hearts in the air. But they skip the foundation. So my key is like have a very solid understanding of the BPM, how many beat per minute, music genres, get your mixing and your pitch control. Knowing the equipment is very important. So yeah, just have a solid foundation. Don't skip the basics, and practice every day is definitely a key to master anything that we like, we put our mind to. So mainly just stick to the basics. Make sure you have a very solid foundation, and then the rest is easy.
Okay.
And no sync button. Yeah, I just heard someone saying sync. It's good to use the sync, by the way. Speaking of sync, sync, for those who don't know, is usually an option that you put on the DJ equipments. So when you mix two songs on different speeds, it will automatically mix them for you on the right tempo, which is one of the most difficult things the DJs can do, is beat matching music on different speeds manually. But doing that manually is very important, because it's like driving a manual car and then moving to an automatic car. So it will be easier to control your car. So yeah, that's how I'd like to say it. Mix manually, don't use auto sync. And respect Dior. Yeah, I just saw your name now.
Okay, interesting. Solid advice. I've got another question for you now, DJ. This is from Amos811. He would like to know, as a DJ, what rhymes with orange?
What rhymes with orange? This is
I'm
the
guessing he's thinking you do the what's it called when you're an MC as well.
College.
Like, this is very challenging to me, because I'm not an MC, I'm a DJ and a producer. I can use my Google and say what rhymes with orange and come back to you, but it's cheating, right?
It's a little bit. But Cubby's just given us two: college and knowledge. It's
Yeah, knowledge. I'll go with knowledge, actually. I just woke up in here. It's still like 7:30 in the morning, so yeah, you
Oh,
caught
wow.
me.
Is it sunny and nice there? Is it warm?
It is warm, but with the beautiful thing, suddenly out of nowhere, it can get dark clouds and starts raining like there's no tomorrow. That's the weather. It's monsoon season now at the moment in Malaysia, so it switches between sunny and heat, and then it can rain at any given second.
I'm going to infer another question from a comment from Amos811, which is, what is the difference between a DJ and an MC?
All right. The MC is the mic checker. The MC is the one who hold the mic and hype the crowd when the DJ is mixing the music or playing the beats or the songs. So they complement each other. Or the MC can be the guy who said, there's an orange Toyota blocking the entrance outside. If someone can please move it. Also, that's an MC.
Okay, interesting. Another question from Seodius is, what challenges have you faced as being an up-and-coming DJ?
Well, mainly, other than the industry, if you want to become a big DJ, there's a whole monopoly in the industry, how to gain success. But my personal challenges was just to stay current with the times. I was born in 1976. I'm now 41. I started DJing at the age of 11, which is mid 80s when I started DJing. I was still a school kid. So I was exposed to a lot of different genres and music throughout the 80s, growing up through now. So being now in my early 40s, and I still DJ on the weekends for side income and for the love of music, because I love performing. I love the thrill of the crowd. So my challenge is just to stay current in order to appeal to the young crowd. And I already got all my crowd on check, but mainly it's just to stay current and keep studying music. That's mostly the challenge. Because being a commercial DJ, sometimes you need to play music that you don't like, but you gotta please the crowd. You gotta play what people expect you to play. So being smart about how you play the commercial music and have your own identity and how to stand out as a DJ, because there's millions of DJs around the world. These are some of the challenges that I faced.
Okay, I have a question for Warken. What was the hardest part of your career? What was the hardest point of it?
The hardest part of my career was making my decision of retiring from the corporate world. I used to work in a big multinational. I used to have a very great salary. I was taking care of a lot of people, including like starting my family and friends. I mean, I had the whole financial stability on lock, but I made my decision to retire from the IT and the technology world and move to music. It took me 3 years to make up my mind. Every time I come pick up the phone to submit my resignation, then I hang up. I remember 3 years in a row I kept doing this, and then I did it. And honestly, it was the best thing I've ever done.
Well, I'm happy you found your happiness so early, because
Thank
some people have to wait until retirement and then they do what they love to do, and you do it now. So I think that is really, really amazing.
Thank you. But why should you wait till you're 50 or whatever to retire? You can retire at the age of 20 and start doing what you want to do, right?
Exactly. That's why I that's why I never got attached to a job, and I'm trying to make my own way, to not have that. What if I leave? What if something happens?
Not true. But honestly, with the technology and the blockchain, there's so many great opportunities. You don't need to do what, the usual methods of sitting behind a desk and going from 9 to 5. I mean, we're all here, Steemit and the blockchain. It provides so much amazing alternatives.
Oh yeah.
Great stuff. Brilliant. Okay, let's move on to another post. Linda, you normally go second, don't you? Do you want to go up with your first post?
I'm here. Oh, and I leveled up. Double sweetness. I actually chose this because it might as well remind Koturin of her childhood or her home place, because the playgrounds there are very similar. And it was the same in where I came from. It kind of resonated to me in a way that a lot of places, the last picture in the post, a lot of places we had the same thing, the same slide, the same metal slide where you would burn your booty in the middle of summer, and it would be like the lava and hot and horrible. And I love how he wrote that. Also, there are two figures. This person is from Belarus, so it's very close. It is very close to Latvia, and we are actually neighbors. And the thing he writes is that those figures are actually, I think, more Georgian. Georgian, and Georgia is like thousands of kilometers away from him. And I love that in Latvia I can totally relate that we have those weird kind of figures, and we just we take a little bit from everywhere, and then sometimes it's really weird when you notice something that's out of place, or just some weird sculptures there. And I sometimes in my playground they were downright scary, like in here, when you look at that bear in the pictures. I think it's kind of ridiculous how that's supposed to be cool for children. And then all the playground items, they're also the same. I remember when I was a child, the playground would be run down, the swings would always be broken, and it kind of just takes me back to a place where I was. That's why I basically chose the post.
Yeah, I can totally relate to that. These are so creepy, but the thing about this creepiness is just like kind of nice in a weird way. And there are so many of these like figurines, whatever you would call them, all over in like post-Soviet countries.
Exactly, and it just reminds you of where we grew up. Even for me, it was still there. Now it's being changed for the younger kids. But I wasn't little so long ago. It was still there.
That's wild.
Beautiful.
It's got a very Soviet look to it. I suppose the snow makes it look Russian as well. But
It's the
sort of-
slide.
is it? Yeah, it's. I mean, the car to me, or the bus, or whatever it is, looks quite sort of Cold War as well.
I
I
think
actually know this person, Assassin. He mailed us a Kino record. You know this band, Kino, Linda?
I don't think so.
Well, he mailed us a record by this Soviet band, and in exchange for some uploads.
Wow.
Okay.
Was the record nice at least?
Well, it was an old record. The sleeve was not in mint condition, but nobody cared. I mean, the record is good, and this band is pretty cool too.
It might be a rare record and can be worth a lot more than what you gave him back, you know?
Yeah, I know how to check. We actually collect a lot of records, and my husband is a huge record collector, so we're pretty good at that. And the record is not worth more than we gave to him. And also, my husband supports his daughter's artwork on a daily basis just because he is good at drawing.
Very nice.
Oh, that's really cool. I just think this is a very nice nostalgic piece that that it kind of gives you insight of how the eastern part of Europe kind of looks. All the playgrounds look the same.
Absolutely, it is kind of like visiting back home for a moment.
I even feel my ass cheeks burn from that slide, in the summer. Okay, I have a photo for you guys. Should I post it now, Nick?
Yes, go ahead. Please do.
Let's see.
The comment
That's
is-
hilarious.
My favorite item is beer, and I thought it was hilarious as well.
Who is that? I don't recognize that poster from the
Amos
icon.
811.
Okay.
Amos
Well, thank you.
811.
Thank you for your entry. Is that
Cheers.
Canadian beer there?
Cheers.
Cheers.
I'm gonna put
don't
this in
know.
my collage, and I really like it all red.
I've
I've got
had
one.
Canadian beer before, just a couple times.
I've got an entrance for the competition now. I'm not sure it can qualify because there's no whale shares thing, but I'm going to post it anyway.
Come on.
That's Ablair.
I have
So nice
one more
picture.
as well.
There you are. But I don't think that was taken for the show, was it? You could do another one in the mirror, holding something that said whale shares for us. Go on, Linda, post the next one.
This is from Snacky, and she did a very interesting way of giving us a tag. That's the Discord chat there.
That is a good one. So what are those things? There's an iPad, there's an elephant, and some pens? Is that?
Yeah, she couldn't choose them. Couldn't choose between all of them. Couldn't pick one.
Wait,
What's
an elephant,
the-
not a snake? I'm so confused.
Elephants have a huge snake in two places.
Maybe that's elephant.
Linda!
Gosh.
I didn't use any naughty words.
Oh my gosh.
She's forced you to think about bad things again, Cubby.
I know,
Without saying
long
anything
legs
bad.
and long tail. The poor elephant. He probably already gets
I
made
said
fun of
2.
all the time. Yeah, well, I'm gonna assume you meant 5.
Then you need to count 6.
Oh my gosh.
Before we go on to the next post, I've got a question for you, DJ. I would like to know how many different DJ names have you had and what were they?
Wow. Interesting question. When I first started DJing, okay, I was 11 and I was the youngest radio DJ back in Lebanon. They used to put a special chair for me so I can reach the mixing board. I was a short kid when I was young. And one time I was doing a show and the chair was swinging left and right and I was trying to hold while I'm running the show. And then I got the nickname Tarzan. So they called me Tarzan. That was my first nickname ever given to me when I first started DJing. And then from there, it moved to Travis, because I used to watch this like Mortal Kombat karate movie. And there was this character called Travis. I used to like him. So They used to call me Travis, and then from there went to Lethal, and then later it became Lethal Skills. So yeah, the name progressed with me as I was growing up.
Why did you pick Lethal Skills as your DJ name?
Okay. Mainly, when I love something, when I'm passionate about something, I give it 300%, and I have love for so many things. So I'm kind of skilled in various things in life that I do, and because I'm passionate to so many things, it's lethal. But it's lethal to me. And at the same time, I'm a battle DJ, so I go compete with DJs, and I always wanted to use like a battle name. So Lethal Skills is some kind of like a DJ battle character that I take when somebody wants to test me on the turntables.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Thanks.
Okay.
Let's-
Oh, okay. Let's move
Are you
on.
there? Are you there, Linda? Let's move on to keep it going, and then we'll do your question after this.
Okay.
Okay. Katrin, would you like to do your post?
Yes. Okay, here's my post, guys. So this is some renders from a person called Mr. Green. I know this guy from Golos blockchain, and we made friends about a year ago. I'd say last spring, and so his main things is renders, and usually he creates random things like logos or whatever his mind feels like working on. In this post, he guides us through the process of rendering, and he talks about some tools that he uses and explain why he usually doesn't have a straight idea as to what he wants to portray, and all of his artwork is spontaneous. He told me that he uses about 6 different applications, and it takes him about a couple days to complete a render, and that's a long time. So yeah, just thought you guys would be into seeing some of the renders, and maybe he can make something for you.
I don't know what a render is. Explain that for me first.
It's computer graphics you created.
Computer-generated graphics, in a way. It takes a lot of hours to generate 3D renders.
Okay, so you design it, and then the computer has to do a lot of the work for a long time. Is that right?
You use you create it on a computer, just like create all of it. If you look at the post, there are pictures of how it was made, so it will give you an idea.
It looks impressive and very complicated.
Yes.
I always wanted to learn something like that, but I think it takes a lot of patience and skills to do that.
Yeah, this is like creating 3D animation. They do a lot for gaming. You know, when you see a game 3D, they need to create all the angles of it. So this is some kind of a render. They draw all the angles of it and they render it.
Yeah, it's kind of complicated. I'm not sure. I've never made any, so it looks complicated to me. But how it is really, of course, I wouldn't know. But it looks pretty cool.
Cool diamond.
I totally agree. It looks amazing. And I have another picture.
Okay, do your picture. That's a nice one. Is that Seodius?
No, that is Chidimma. Am I saying it right?
Hello,
C-H.
Chidimma. I don't think we've seen you in here before, so welcome to the show.
What is her favorite thing? A phone?
Yes.
Nice picture. So keep the pictures coming in. Here's what happens. When we get to the end, we will vote on the winner, and then that person will be able to make a post with the title of Welsh's Creation Show Competition, and I will get as many upvotes as I can. Last week we split the prize, so I pledged to get each half up to $5. I was a bit short, I got them up to $3 each. So this week I'm going to make sure those two people get another $2. So I will buy them a bit of upvote. So this week, I'm not sure how high we'll get it because Steam is a bit low, but all our curators will upvote you. Hopefully everyone in here will upvote you. And I might try and beg some upvotes from other people, but it should be a nice post reward. So I think the first week, Cotrin, how much did we get that one up to?
To Linda,
Yes, yeah.
I think Linda had like $45.
Okay, so I can't promise you that. I'll do my very best to get it as high as possible, but it's worth entering. So do send your pictures in. Linda, you had a question for DJ.
Oh yes, what's your favorite childhood memory?
Wow. My favorite childhood memory is remembering my family being around just playing music, because my father plays an instrument called oud. So during the times we were in my back home when it was war, my dad used to play music for us. So we all used to get together and he used to play this oud. It's like a oriental guitar in a way. And yeah, this memory is always warm and dear to me. Just seeing the whole family together and music and love.
Do you think that shaped your later love of music, creating that environment, recreating
Oh
it?
yeah. Oh yes, definitely. I think this is why music has left a big impact on my life growing up, and I ended up doing music. Are main reasons, I think.
What is your inspiration, DJ Little Skills?
What is my inspiration?
Yeah, like what makes you inspired? Then you feel like, oh, I'm gonna create a new song.
It's just like, uplifting people's energy through sound. I like to make good music and see people how they react to it. And I would like always to spread positive energy with my music. So when I first started doing music, it was more political and very conscious, like hip hop and political stuff. But as I started growing up, I started venturing to different styles of music, and I collaborate with different types of artists. So mainly just doing good music, something behind that is positive,
That sounds like an amazing approach. Thank you.
Pleasure. I like the question.
I've got a question now about rap battles. Now, how serious and how aggressive does a sort of DJ battle get?
When it comes to DJ, like it's battle is part of the hip hop culture. Hip hop is not just music. Hip hop is more of a culture. It's a way of life. There's different elements in the hip hop culture. One of them is the DJ. One of them is the MC. One of them is the break dancers. The other element is the people who do graffiti on the wall. And there's the beatbox, people who make music with their mouth. So these are the 5 elements in hip hop. And battle exists in each of these elements. So you have DJ battle, MC battle, graffiti battle. And mainly it's passive aggressive because you're expressing whatever you're feeling, was it anger or happiness or a story, through lyrics or paint or dancing. So it's a very positive way of expressing. And the good thing when battles, this is where usually everyone puts his 200%. So battle is a very healthy exercise, sports to do in order to keep practicing, engaging with other people who do the same like you, and learning new stuff. So battling is very important in hip hop, and it's not negative at all. Actually, it's not like physical battle.
Yeah,
Interesting.
brain exercising.
Yeah, of course, it's art. You can express yourself by writing, blogging, dancing, whatever. The list can go on.
Yeah, I feel like DJ battles are also a healthy practice for people, for musicians to grow.
Yeah, actually, when it comes to the DJ battle, there's 2 big battles that happen every year. It's like the Olympics of the DJ. One is called the MC, and the other one is the Red Bull Freestyle. And mainly DJs spend 1 year practicing for a 15-minute routine or set. So they have to show all their skills in a 15 minutes compressed, and they practice 360 days. 4th.
Yeah,
So it's serious.
that's rough.
Yeah, definitely.
That shows some devotion, sure. DJ, would you like to promote your first post now?
Oh, yes. Okay.
And after you do, I have a photo. Or should I do it now?
No, let DJ do.
I think so. Oh, okay. The link open? Yeah, here we go. All right. So, given we're talking about culture and architecture, to follow up with the theme of my fellow curators, this is one post that I bumped into in the post promotion. It's by a fellow streaming called Bella Volen Art. It's a very nice post that I like that fuses traditional Bulgarian culture about this old stone village that she went to. And also, she's into body paint. She has some amazing skills and art that she's doing. But what I intentionally liked about this post is how she is talking about the old village and how she's describing different parts of the village and saying the old story about it. Beautiful pictures, like Cubby. Also, it's a very good format, very well presented. And I really, really love the story because it reminded me when first time I went to the south in my country. I've never been to the south side because it's on the borders with Israel, and there's a huge conflict over there. So we don't usually go. So the first time I went to my village, I remember my grandmother taking me to these different corners in the village and telling me those different stories. So when I read the article, it kind of like reminded me of that experience, and I really loved it. I hope you guys enjoyed it.
She has little art skills in body paint.
Here you go.
She's gonna think we're stalking her. Someone always picks her. She's really awesome.
Actually, when I found the post, it was not even $1. I think now it got up to whatever. But yeah, it's a dope post.
It's beautiful, isn't it? It's fantastic what she does. I think I noticed from this is I've lived in a few different countries in Europe, and she talks about that deserted village that had a lot of population and it slowly died off. And this is something that's happening all over Europe, and it's quite sad to see almost everywhere. Apart from the UK, which people like to live in the countryside, almost everywhere else, people are moving to cities, and rural communities are emptying out, and these beautiful picturesque villages are becoming more and more empty until no one can run a shop there anymore. There's not enough people, so then more people leave, and then the only people left there are the old people who have lived there all their lives, and then they die off, and then the city, and then the village dies off completely. And it's sad to see it, and I'd like to think that in the future people would move back into these places and renovate them. But
I have no idea what's the issue, what's with the people flocking to the cities. I don't really like, the huge places where you can't really see anything green and the sky is kind of gray all the time. When I was living in the capital of my country, I just felt like everything was gray. And I love living in my countryside. That's one of my goals, to one day go back to my countryside and live there.
Well, here's what I think the problem was. There were no jobs, and certainly in France, because France is big and it's very spread out, you see lots of villages where they basically can't survive, and so the government has to subsidize things like a local shop to stay open, so the old people there can still have a lifestyle, but it's a massive drain on the money. And as soon as people get to 18, they move to cities because there's work there. But maybe with the internet, maybe with things like Steemit, where if you work hard, if you're talented, you can earn money outside of the city, we will see this acceleration slow down a bit, or even the fact that these houses are cheap. It will mean people move back there. Certainly in Italy, there are places where the local council will sell you a house for €1. Beautiful.
Oh, I just read this, and they make it a requirement that in some villages that are run down, you need to make improvements on house in 3 years, then you can get it for €1.
Yes, yeah, you can't sell straight away, and you've got to spend a bit of time on it. But I think it will happen again everywhere. But it leaves these beautiful empty places, and they're obviously good for the things like this body art. But it's a little bit sad for me as well to see the lifestyle is wasting away, the rural lifestyle.
gonna return. Trends change. It's like it always happens like this. People for the next 20 years we're gonna flock to the cities, and then after that everybody's gonna be sick of them and will want their own houses in the countryside. That's what happens. People never know what they want.
Like, like as I'm growing up, I tend to move more towards the village and come out of the city. Like, I think it's funny when you're young, you want to move to the city. As you mature up in life and you know the values of life more, you start, want to move back to your roots in a way. So I'm at this stage where I would like to invest in a small piece of land in my village back home and build a home for next retirement.
I totally agree. I think we just start starving for the nature, because we don't have the connection anymore and we start to starve again for it. And I'm lucky with it because I have land in the countryside, so I have a place where to return. My problem is only to build a house. And I love the place I have because I grew up there. It's just run down there now because of my grandparents died very early and there was nobody in the house. But I would like to go back, and I think people will start to long to get that connection with nature again.
100% agreed.
How do you feel about the countryside and communities and things?
I am probably on the opposite end of the spectrum. I spent a summer in Alaska and realized that too much fresh air does me no good. And so my parents love the country, but we have a small farm with chickens in our backyard, and it's all paved out, so only the outskirts of it has our garden and our plants, and I don't ever go out there if I can avoid it. So I love the city life. I love the buildings. I love the noise. I love the busyness of it. But I live in a beautiful South Florida, so there's lots of trees, there's lots of grass, and so it's not like New York where there's no fresh air type of thing. It's a beach life, but so I love where I live here. I wouldn't really want to live in the countryside with land and all that, just because that would be so much work to upkeep. I prefer to be in the city, but not just buildings like New York. Busy cities, kind of like San Diego, the California feel with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I understand that because in some cities there's the balance, you kind of feel close to the world, and in some cities it's just concrete jungle.
Yes, I don't like the concrete jungle. I would not be called Jane in this Tarzan movie, unfortunately.
Right, I'm going to show my post now, which also has some beautiful countryside in.
Well, should I have 3 photos now. I've been flooded with some photos. Should I show them before?
Sorry. Yes. Oh, hold on. We've got an offer of love from Walk-in. He wants to call you Jane, and Cubby likes that as well. Are we going to see a romance here? I don't know. Yes, post those pictures.
This is Walk-in. And only some people with some experiences will know what that he's holding. I was thinking about it when he sent it to me, but I wasn't sure. So.
Got a grinder.
Yeah. Oh, so we know who is.
Are you wearing a ski mask?
Looks like that, doesn't it?
This is my second one. I really like this one as well because that's something new. And this is from Mindscape Photos. Mindscape Photos.
You're going to see his post in a little bit, and that will make that picture more significant. The background as well, and the camera.
Nice.
Ooh, so you're presenting his post?
Yes.
Okay.
Have you got a third photo for us?
Here's the third one, another beer lover, and this is from, let's see, Trip the Spider.
I heard beard lover, and then you said beer lover, but it sounded like beard because it's a beer with the beard.
Well, he's a beard and a beer lover, so it doesn't really change anything.
Cheers.
He could hold his own beard.
Must as well be both.
There's some top entries there. Well done, everyone. Right. Here's a post. Now I think you should just take a look at the images in this. It's absolutely fantastic. They were taken in Bolzano, which is in Italy, but it's North Italy in the Alps. So it's the bit that's a little bit Germanic. Is that right? Yes, I think so. But a tremendous amount of photos. A stunning post, absolutely stunning. It's probably enough in there for 4 or 5 posts in terms of photographs, but they're so well taken, they're so clear. There's my Mindscape photos. It's the Germanic area of Italian. Okay, so the sort of Alp place. Is that where that beer comes from? With the man with the green hat on. The Italian beer, Moretti. That comes from the Alps, I think, doesn't it? Anyway, sorry, digression. Just have a look at some of those photos. It's absolutely stunning.
Nick, you just buried my post about the Bulgarian traditional village. You killed me with this one.
Well, that was a beautiful post as well. But I think these photos have got like a professional level to them.
That castle, that all like the ruins of a castle or church. What is it on top of the green space? I love that one. That's so beautiful. And the layout, Copy, you should chime in about the layout and formatting here.
I am in awe. I mean, just the pictures alone are so captivating. And he puts little banners in between the pictures and he stacks them on top of each other, which cannot be done on Steemit. So I'm assuming he put this together and then posted the images on there. So I am in awe of his amazingness.
I am resteaming this one. This one is something I haven't seen in a while. So beautifully full. You know, I've seen something beautiful, but this is beautiful. It's double.
Totally agree. Amazing.
Yeah, this one's
You raised the
worth
bar.
I've just looked at the rewards. It's on 45 cents now. It was on a lot less than that. It was on about, I don't know, 10 or 15 or something when I picked it. So absolutely a worthwhile choice. That's what this show is about, picking these great things.
Exactly. Then I opened it and I saw that it only had like less than $50, less than 50 cents. It made me mad because this post is amazing.
Yeah,
I've never seen you mad before.
Yeah, I usually get mad over silly things like that.
I just pitched this post to Sandbox. I don't know if you guys know of it. He might get big upvotes. It's a really, really, really amazing post.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he got Curie with this.
Too late now, he's over Europe. We did it,
I
guys.
have a chance with Sandbox. Let's see how it goes. I hope he gets it.
Respond to Steemit World Map too, so we can add it to the map.
Yeah, great idea.
Okay, I've got a quick question for EJ from Ike Connolly. I did see it before. I was saving it. Krista has reminded me. Anyway, at what point did you have your breakthrough as a DJ?
I think I was around 31 or 32. It started with me at 30, and I said it took me 3 years to retire. So the idea started coming with me at 30, and then I retired at 33. But I made sure I saved enough money before I retired. I didn't do the stupid thing. I just quit and go do music. No, it didn't work like that. I had a plan. I had it all planned for a few years, and then I did it. So yeah.
That's always the important part. If you have the real financial freedom or just imagined one. If you lose your job and the next month you can't pay your bills, then you don't really have financial freedom and you made ready for it.
Exactly. That's why it took me 3 years. So I started planning for my retirement.
Did you get to a point where you thought, I'm getting good now? You could tell, rather than just like trying and knowing you had potential, where you thought, I can actually feel myself improving rapidly.
Like the thing with me, I always like challenges, and I reached a stage in my IT career where I was, in a way, just doing the same job over every day. It kind of became boring, even though I was getting paid very well. So I always like to throw myself in changes, and I believe this is the beauty of life: is to dare to do what others don't. That's how you can reach out and stand out. You know, you gotta try.
Okay, interesting. We're at the halfway point though. So I should say Mindscape Photos. Thank you so much for that and for putting it in our post-promotion channel. It was a mind-blowing post, and we're all very impressed. Now we're at the halfway point. Cubby, are you there?
Oh my gosh.
Here we go.
So we've got Cubby's DJ Chatterbox segment. So now we need suggestions for what Cubby needs to talk about for 1 whole minute straight, without pausing, without hesitating, without saying and without even taking a breath. So if you have a suggestion for what you would like her to talk about, please put it in the chat room.
Banana peel.
Belly buttons.
Going, got some suggestions there. Doctor Who. Okay. Hey, Cubby, do you drink alcohol?
Not much, but that would be an interesting one. I really do love his belly buttons, and we will do that one, Kanchan, even if it's on the last day that I'm here.
I think it should be on the last day just to celebrate and build up the excitement.
I agree.
Me too. But hey, if you know when it's gonna happen, then you will have so much time to prepare.
I won't prepare
How will we know you're saying the truth?
because you love me and you trust me.
And because she's supposed to be a good girl.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can go with that.
Ha! Got him.
Yeah, fooled me.
Okay, we've got a lot of suggestions there. So I like the worst hangover one, but there's lots of others.
You would choose that one.
Yeah, let's go with that one. Your worst ever hangover. And Linda's gonna time you.
Is DJ gonna drop a beat and do the beatbox thing while I say it?
Did you
No,
do
he
that,
has to.
DJ?
Wrap it.
You should drop the mic afterwards for her.
I can maybe play a beat.
You could do that, or you couldn't beatbox, could you? I bet you've got some beatboxing skills.
I sure don't, but he does.
I wouldn't mind beatboxing, but we don't want the listeners to get less. I just woke up.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna try to play like a basic drum loop or something. I think I can do that. I just need
Cool.
5 seconds. I'm giving you time to think, Cubby. I'm working with you.
Oh, I was reading the chat. I was like, oh, look, so many people. I should probably take advantage of your kindness.
Enjoy your ham sandwich, Sargento.
Did he
Guys,
give
I
us
will
a
post
share?
some pictures while they get ready.
Ooh, yeah, so we could take a look at what we're working with.
Angel, send the picture tonight to Linda. Yes.
Ellen's funny one.
Aw, she looks so pretty.
Read what she has.
Her favorite thing is a bit weird, but that's cool, right?
It's for your skin or your hair, isn't it?
Well, it depends how naughty you are.
Stop it. Aw, this one has a cat. How cute. Lovely skin.
That's the winner for Koturin already.
Yeah, we do have a winner for me.
Well, wait. The first one is from DH Ayor. D.
cool.
Hayor. And the second one is from Two Flower. with the kitty. And I have more.
Okay, well, DJ's ready, and I'm getting nervous with all this waiting, so let's get this over with.
Okay.
You let me know if the volume is low, huh?
Are you ready, guys? Okay. Oh, that's loud.
Loud.
For me, yes, but maybe it's because I've made it very loud. My my headphones. Okay. Are you ready, guys?
I am ready.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh man, where should we start? To let you know about my lovely hangover. I haven't had too many. I can tell you about one. I'm a little embarrassed because my parents don't know, but there was a time when I worked at the airport. We were all really close. We all worked 12 hours a day, and sometimes during the weekends we would hang out and go to a nearby pub. Yes, it was a pub. It was Irish, and that's as much as I remember. I don't really drink much because I'm very, very picky. I like things sweet and sweeter than sweet. But there was this one new mixologist that was there, and he was mixing and slipping and churning and doing. All I know, there's this tall glass of orange goodness. And after the third one, I said, sure, why not? Let's go 2 more. And 5 or 7 later, and I don't remember how I got home, but thankfully I was with friends, and they let me stay at their place. I woke up during the night about 2 or 3 times. It was really kind of painful. I won't mention that part. But I'll tell you one thing, I went to work the next day and nobody knew, and that's what I'm most proud of. That one single time I hope never happens again.
Ah, good.
Oh,
Kobe, I
that was
like that.
great. I like that a
Whoa,
lot as
whoa,
well.
whoa. You should be a rapper, Kobe.
I think it was
Wow.
the music. I was like, let me go with the beat of the song. That was good.
You had a
Actually,
rhyme going on there. I like that a lot as well.
Killed it. We should work on the track. I'll make the beat, you do the rap. You do the
Thanks.
rapping.
Thanks, DJ. You're an inspiration.
Chris was giving you a 10.9.
I give you the highest mark I've given you +1. I have no idea how much was the highest.
Wow, thank you.
I love that rhyme. That was a nice rhyme. I think you've done outstandingly well in this time compared to the last 2 times.
Yeah, I was going through a downward streak, so I had to pick it up, and I had to have my friend DJ here to help me. Wow, a 50. Thank you, Crystal. Katrin, please speak up.
I'll give you 10. You guys killed it. Did it go through?
Yeah.
Nicholas, Cubs for president. That's awesome.
I'm gonna give you 9.37, I think.
Interesting.
Why 3.7 and not 4?
I don't know. I thought 9.4 was a tiny bit too much. There was no Portuguese in there.
What's the
and
highest?
9.3 was not quite enough. The highest, I think Cotrin sometimes gives 11 out of 10.
11
She
out of
likes
10.
to bend the rules.
Nice.
I thought that was me.
Oh, you might have done that as well. Okay.
So, Nick, why 9.37? Last time you gave me a 7.9. So, explain.
Yeah, 9.4 is a tiny bit too much because there was no Portuguese. 9.3, it didn't feel generous enough because it was very good. So I thought 9.3, and then 3.5 felt it's a little bit too low. And I just worked it out in my head and thought, yeah, 3.7, that's spot on.
You just wanted to be a special snowflake like all those millennials want to be, right?
Special snowflake. I didn't know that you wanted Portuguese. I would have thrown some in there, even though it wouldn't really been relevant. But that's okay.
I can throw in another beautiful photo for you guys.
Oh, yes, please do that.
Drop it.
I like this one a lot. That's from Angel.
That is
Oh,
so
that's
cute.
And he's holding
cute.
the Phantom of the Opera, no?
Yeah, I guess so. He likes the Phantom of the Opera. That's almost like my situation with Golden Ferrari, you know? You carry something that's bigger than you. or at least your size.
Okay, some brilliant entries so far. How many have we got so far,
10.
Linda? 10. Okay.
10.
All right. Okay, so keep those coming in because I know we haven't had any from everyone. Haven't had some from everybody. And also, if you'd like to do a second one, you can do that as well. And Linda's going to put them all into a collage. But in the meantime, shall we go with Cubby's next post? Cubby, have you got your energy back yet?
Yes, I am ready.
Okay. What have you?
That's great.
Yes.
Alrighty, for this one, she is actually here. I've been looking through chat and I don't recognize her name anywhere. So Annabelle or Annamel, you have a really complicated name. If you are here, say hello to the group. She left a message saying that she was going to be here with us. But the reason that I selected this post, and as soon as I saw it, I ran to the bottom to make sure none of you guys stole it, because Nick, you actually stole one of my choices. But that's all right. Great minds think alike. And then I found this one, and the first two pictures completely captivated me with it. And then I started to read what it was all about. And she talks about her experience, her first month on Steemit, as she mentions. But it's so well written. And she's a freelance writer, so obviously the content is extremely well. And she does her due diligence of doing research and ensuring that it's a quality post that she makes. But what I love the most is how thorough she is on her post. She doesn't just talk about her first month and not gaining a lot of upvotes and the learning curve, but she goes above and beyond. You wouldn't think that she's only been on the platform for a month. And the communities that she mentions, I thought that I was pretty well rounded and I was familiar with most, if not all, but she mentions a few that I had never heard of. And I think that's phenomenal that new members can not only join the platform, but join a community, and one that maybe not everyone who's already on the platform may be informed. And then projects like this can find it. And I think that's how you make big communities seem like a small niche, when you can find these little hole in the walls that are actually doing a lot of great work. And then she goes into how she built her introduce yourself post. And she read a ton of intro posts, and she learned how to do formatting before she posted. That sentence alone, hook, line, and sinker. She learned how to format her post before she ever posted. Brilliant.
I think you found an idol already for yourself, Abby. A new idol.
No, I don't do idols, but huge admiration, a lot of respect for what DJ had said. She truly learned her craft and practiced it instead of just jumping in without knowing any better. And she does a phenomenal job of explaining what she did for her intro post and what she recommends others doing. And then she goes into the communities, as I mentioned, and some that I think are pretty awesome. And then she talks a little bit about herself and, of course, the struggles of being patient and how a few of her posts didn't make it very far. And then she got curied and she got $100 payout, 100 SBD payout. I was like, well, that's awesome. I haven't made it that far yet, but that's cool. And then she talks about managing your time and some suggestions on how to manage your time, your writing, prioritizing. And I use Google Drive for all my posts, and HackMD seems to be another popular one. But she mentions Markable.in, an organized blog planner. And I've never heard of these things, and I was like, that is really cool. A lot of people want to make Steemit a full-time gig, but don't necessarily have the tools and essentials and the skills to do so. And I think what she mentions here is key to that. I even added to another Discord that I'm a part of that I teach newbies different aspects of Steemit, and I was like, this is something that I'm just going to reference forever because it's just phenomenal. And it's quite long, and there's a lot of information there, but once you look through it, I think you'll find some interesting things to go through. She talks about her experience in other writing platforms, which is quite interesting. And she ends it with Steamer Beginner's Tip Volume 1. And so I'm excited to see what else she brings up for it. And her ending. I mean, look at that. She has a picture of herself. She has a little snippet about her and her introduction post and what she likes to write about and all the community she's a part of. If there's ever been a post that I could say just hit the nail on everything that you would need to make a successful post, I would say she has done it, because she hasn't done anything out of this world extraordinary, but what she did it with excellence. And bravo, my dearest.
You know what? I almost took this post, but I kind of moved on to another one. So almost, Gabby.
Thank you for not stealing it from me.
This is a good post. I actually follow her on Steemit, and she was commenting on a few of my food posts, and this is how I got to know her. So I went to her page, and I liked what I saw. As they say so. So she and her boyfriend, she even has a school bus that they are doing to make a house and travel. She's a pretty interesting person.
She's
And
so cool.
You know what the best part? I love how she puts a photo by somebody. Like, she doesn't write just source, but she writes who the photo is taken by. And one of those photos is taken by a Latvian person.
Wonderful.
That's so rare.
It's a 3-course meal of a post, isn't it? It's got everything. It's impressive. To put that much effort in, for me, is impressive, because you never know what you're going to get out. And in the past, I became very disillusioned sometimes, because I do a bit of writing, lots of drafts. This was years ago, like back in 2016. You'd put it out there and think, people will have to like this. I've made it as good as I can, and it would just slip through the net. So it's always a gamble putting out a good post as well. But yeah, no, it paid off. And it's great. Hey, Cubby, which post did you miss out on that I picked?
I'm
Is it the one
guessing.
you've seen already?
No, I'm guessing it's the second one, because I read it and I was like, this is so great. And then I was just about to leave a comment when I saw your little sneak, and I was like, dang it, it got me.
I did that on purpose, by the way. I saw you reading it in my mind's eye, and thought,
No,
I'm just going to wait.
I noticed
I'm going
that.
to waste her time.
You're stalking me and you know exactly when I'm looking. And I was like, gosh, dang it, how does he know he does these things so quickly?
That one anyway, that we just saw. A fantastic post. So she's probably worth following.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
much like a ladies poster as well. There was about 4 or 5 different ladies groups of Steemit
Mm-hmm.
at the end, which I obviously wouldn't be allowed to join. But if you're a lady, if you've got the right parts, then
You can always wear a wig.
They are
That's the thing.
gender neutral discords. Although they do promote women, they do have a lot of men who join as well, who support women on the platform. So they're not exclusive to women. They just tend to promote more women post, women empowerment, feminist, that type of thing. So I think you'd be more than welcome.
So if you join, you have to worship the women that are in the group already.
So extreme with you, Linda. It's like 0 to 100.
That's how I roll.
I can't worship them because I already worship you 3 so much already.
This is true.
Okay, then don't go.
Yeah,
don't
stay
go
here.
join there. I like being worshipped.
Have we got any more questions for DJ Lethal Skills? Remember, you get some hair shares, which are a nice little upvote for your post if I use your question. There must be some. I've got a big list here. DJ, could you tell us what it's like in Malaysia? Just tell us, life in Malaysia, what the people are like, what the weather's like. Give us a roundup.
I came to Malaysia first time in 2005 when I used to work in the corporate world, and I fell in love with this country. I was very surprised when I came first time to Malaysia. First of all, you can find the Malay, which is the local people. You can find Indian and Chinese, and they're all Malaysian. So it's a very interesting cultural fusion in a way. Even spiritually, there's like Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, Christians, like everybody living together peacefully, which I love, coming from the Middle East, which is the opposite. where there's a lot of conflicts when it comes to sectarianism and politics and whatnot. The food is amazing because you have the Chinese and Indian food, and then you have the fusion foods where all the cultures meet together. A beautiful nature. There's amazing nature, islands, forests, a lot of activities you can do. For people who like the city, it's a beautiful place to come and check out for shopping, going out, eating. Weather can be a little bit tricky throughout, like now it's monsoon. It can be sunny and beautiful like now, and suddenly it can start raining. But it's a tropical rain. It's not like really cold like in Europe or whatnot. It's highly recommended, and it's very cheap to the dollar. So if you want to travel on a budget and explore a beautiful side of Southeast Asia, definitely Malaysia is one of the places I would highly recommend. If you want to keep an eye, check out Langkawi, check out Borneo. I mean, it's very rich. It's amazing.
Are you gonna invite us to go visit you?
You are welcome. We're going to be doing, actually, there's a Steam It Malaysia community in here, and it's pretty big. There's around 800 people, and they are organizing a Steam It meetup or festival or something in Southeast Asia.
Well,
It'll be good. And I'm going to be performing also in that fest. The date is not yet announced, but if you guys are interested, definitely, or anytime you guys want to come to Malaysia, just hit me up on Discord, and it will be my pleasure to show you around what to eat, take you out with my wife and, show you
well,
what's up.
I hope you have big enough couch because we're all gonna come.
No
Yep.
worries, we can, yeah, you're welcome. So good.
Look at that picture. That's Kuala Lumpur. I've always thought Kuala Lumpur looks like a beautiful city, and look at it. Looks so shiny, and look, there's the green there as well. Look at that. Looks like a
That is
city of the
beautiful.
future.
Yeah, they call it at night the City of Light because it's full of lights where you can go up to these Petronas towers that you see in the picture that you just posted, and you can see a 360 view of the whole city. It's just amazing. And it's crazy how cheap it is. It's insane. I wonder why some people don't come to this side of the world. It's so beautiful and so cheap, and the culture is very welcoming and warm. And it's very safe. There's no security issues or whatnot.
Okay, well, I think you've just helped the Malaysian tourist board out immensely there, because all of us now seem to want to go there.
And I DJ in Malaysia in two of the biggest clubs. So if you ever come here, and for those who likes to party and whatnot, you can also hit me up, and I can get you on my VIP list, exclusive for the Wheelchairs attendees. Here you go.
Oh yay! Let's go and let's buy drinks for you in this BD.
No, I'll get you a champagne when you come. You don't need to buy me drink. I'll get you drinks.
Well, if you're giving us a VIP pass, we need to give you something in return. At least a hug. Do you like hugs?
Hug will do amazing, and if you dance when I'm playing the music, that will do me great. I just want to see you.
Oh yeah, you can count us in for that. We got you with the dancing.
Exactly. I think, Kabi, we need to plan our vacations together.
We do. We need to go to the wedding, and then we need to go to this event, and then we need to go pick up Katrin to come with us because she's silent, but she's a crazy party animal. I'm convinced.
I can imagine.
Okay.
If you reach her in the club, she's going to be something else.
I have actually a connected question to what we're talking about from Warken again. What is the best event that you ever played in, and when was that?
When was the best event I ever played?
And how did it look? How did it feel to play there?
Wow. One of the very personal events that I had, it was a huge festival that happened in Lebanon. It was after breaking one of the first wars, so they wanted to do this city festival. So they brought these big truckers, and they set up DJ booths on each truck, and the trucks met in the city center, and then they started spreading across the country to the south and the north, while there was performance on each truck. And I remember after the war, they opened the roads again, and people can see each other and whatnot. It was a very special moment. We're moving with trucks across the cities, and we're playing music and just putting smiles and happiness on kids and people's faces after. It was a good alternative from hearing bombs and bullets. So I know it's not the kind of thing you want me to hear saying big festival with a lot of crowd, because every performance for me is big, personally, because I do get goosebumps when the crowd reacts when I'm performing. And this is a thrill that I think every artist that likes. When someone reacts to something you create and they like it, it's fuel to do more. But that experience was very beautiful because for me, I believe we're gonna achieve peace through music. So for me, music is beyond just like listening to music. It can bring people together, and that's the power of music that I love, and that's why I'm into music big time.
Brilliant, brilliant. Have you ever, I've been asked, have you ever performed in Africa?
Yes, during my time growing up, I passed by Nigeria for a bit. I was in Lagos, and I was in Chad and Jamena. I stayed there for a year. I was in Sudan. I was in Egypt. I used to DJ, but not big clubs. I was still young, so it was more of like school parties and house parties and whatnot. But I love it. But personally, like nothing, no party like parties in Africa, man. The love for music, the way they dance, the way the energy is just amazing. And I love African music. It has amazing rhythms and grooves.
And have you played in Central Europe? That's again from Varken.
I lived in London for 1 year. I don't know, like I've been to Poland. I've been to a few places in Europe, but mostly in London. I did play. I was studying at Point Blank, which is a music academy, one of the biggest schools in the world for music production. I stayed there for a year. I stayed in Camden Town for those from the UK, and it was great. I love London for me personally because it's like a music academy. When it comes to music, it's very rich. So mainly London and Poland. Yeah, that's about it for now.
And I've got, whilst we're on this subject, another question. How did you find the English when you were staying in London?
I used to work in a British company, so before going to London, so I'm very used to the accent and the English accent and whatnot. So it wasn't very, it wasn't like a big. I didn't have a bad time keeping up with there. And I had some Scottish friends and Irish friends, so I'm used to all these like different sounds in English.
But I mean the people as well, because I always get a different answer whenever I ask people what they think of the English. You always get a slightly different perspective. So I mean the English people.
Yeah, honestly, I believe there's good and bad people in all corners of this earth. It depends just on the experience. I was blessed enough to have a very great, welcoming family in London, and I only got to meet the great people. I didn't feel the racism or whatnot, like what some of my friends experienced some other stuff. But I mean, my personal experience, I've been blessed to have amazing hosts and a great company all the time. I didn't really feel I just felt at my second home. And I'm with musicians. Maybe that's why, because my experience was different. I'm a musician, so I'm surrounded with musicians, and we all feel one with music. So maybe it was different for me than others. But I love it personally, and I love England. I love the UK, and I love the nightlife. And it's a place I go every year to collect records and buy music.
Okay, interesting. Right, let's move on to the next post. Cotrin, I believe you're next.
And after
Just a second.
And after Cotrin, I have a really great picture. And I'm sorry for the nose blows. If you hear any, my boyfriend is a little bit sick and he likes to blow his nose right when I talk.
All right, you guys, another piece of art here. And it's a drawing of a bird. And I saw the thumbnail in the post-promotion channel. I knew that I was gonna select this because the bird looks so realistic and it's just gorgeous. It's kind of hard to believe that it was drawn with just color pencils, you know? And not only there are beautiful photos of the final drawing, but I feel like it's a tutorial in a way too, because the lady who drew this, she's sharing some tips and kind of tells you how to shade your drawing to make it look more real. So it's pretty cool.
I like this a lot. I've seen those, woodpeckers. They look similar. They have the little. Is that woodpecker? Because we have red ones in Latvia, red and brown ones.
I don't think that she said the name of the bird. I guess there is just like says bird. So
Yeah, it's really pretty. I love the little hairstyle he has. It's like the woodpeckers have the same. That's why I thought it may be some kind of one Looks really amazing.
Jay Folkman has said it's a blue jay. I saw it and thought it looks like a jay of some sort.
Yeah, I really like this drawing. It, like, I don't know. It's hard to believe it was pencils. I know I already said that, but I still cannot believe it was just pencils because it's so good.
The eye, it looks so real. I would love to have some photos like this framed.
So talented. I love the coloring, and it's like you said, it's almost like a tutorial. You're trying to watch how it was made, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, I have a feeling if I were to try something like that, it would not look the same. Mm-mm.
It would look like a drunk brother of that drawing.
Or something very similar to that.
I also like her signature. It's pretty cool. I wonder if she made it herself. She probably did. I mean, if she draws so good, she could have drawn it.
She has a cool animated banner at the end of her post. The signature. Is this the one you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's some beautiful drawing there also.
I think it might be her portrait.
Wow. Definitely gonna add her.
That's so much detail.
Yeah, I'm going to follow that. Follow her. That's impressive work. Sargento, not a fan of blue jays, apparently.
It's not a blue jay?
It is a blue jay.
It is just
Okay.
Sargento doesn't like them.
Oh, he don't like them? Aww.
Do you see the picture I just did? The Wilshire star is on his forehead. That's Acrid's friend. He's posting through Acrid. And his name is Joey Andres. I like it.
Has he got whale chairs written on his head?
Yes. On his forehead. I think that's really amazingly innovative. Just like Snaky had an innovative idea how to give a Wilshire tag.
It's a good picture. It's a pity he's not close to the camera though, because we can't quite see that it says Welshers.
You can if you open the picture.
And you mean click on it? I suppose,
Yeah.
yeah. If it was made big, we could. Any more questions? Hold on. Yes, DJ, another question for you. Is there any music you dislike?
I believe all music has some good music in it. You know, when I was young, I used to like everything but country music. But now, as I'm growing up, there's a lot of new stuff coming up. So I dislike bad music. Just to have a simple answer, you know.
You do like country music now a bit?
Yeah, I do actually. There is the song called Gambler. What's the guy's name? I used to hear it when I was a kid growing up.
Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers, here you go. Yeah, that's like, it reminds me when I was a kid. There was a show that they used to play that song as the intro or something, and it kind of stuck in my head. But yeah, I like country music. There's some stuff that I like.
So if I came to your house and I looked on your CD shelf, I would definitely find the Eagles' greatest hits there.
Yeah, of course I do have classical stuff. You know, you gotta have it in your library because it's true. I come from a hip hop background as an artist, but I do listen to all kind of music. My father was a record collector also, so I grew up listening to all kinds like country, rock, jazz, blues, funk, disco, like the whole shebang. You know.
Yes, yes. Could you tell us about a typical day for you?
Well, wake up in the morning, put food for my cats, prepare coffee, get on Discord, speak to Gina, messages, and start creating because I do a few things. I have a few community projects that I run, We have some contests with the whale shares actually, which is record pool. Maybe later at the end of the show, after I can tell you about that. For those who don't know, we have a lot of music collaborations happening within the community. So mainly, recently I've been full on Steemit most of my time. The only time I get off Steemit is I do I teach, and on the weekends I DJ, and I do studio work every day. So, but mostly it's between music and Steemit, and my cats and my wife.
I have a question. Your coffee, do you take it just black or milk and sugar?
Oh, I like it. I like it black for the first one, but then later throughout the day I mix. I go with milk and sugar just to ease down on the caffeine.
All right.
Are you a coffee lover?
Coffee is life. Yes.
Here we go. Okay, you got me there.
Do you like your coffee like you like your men?
Okay. So out of
That was-
context.
That was for you, Cubby, not for DJ.
I like how we're always provoking Kabi.
Unbelievable. I don't know what that means, Nick, and I'm terrified to ask you to clarify.
Do you like your coffee strong and black? Do you like it sort of weak and white? You know, there's all sorts of ways you could take your coffee. Hot and sugary, hot sugary and black.
Okay, so I do like my coffee with milk and sugar. Usually it has some sort of vanilla, always sugar, sometimes without milk. If I'm making it myself, it's just sugar and a dash of milk. If I'm going to a coffee shop, it's usually a vanilla latte with soy milk.
So you're a vanilla kind of girl.
I do like my coffee sweet, yes.
Sweet and warm.
Accurate is terrible.
On that note, should we move to the next post? DJ, I think it's your post now,
Okay.
your second one.
I don't know when I post. I don't know why the picture is not opening. Okay, now it did.
We haven't got
Yeah,
one,
I always
which
got
is
my back.
Chris is doing it.
Okay, great. So thank you, Christoph. So this post is like, I have to mention something related to music. There's this team called Scuzzy, who's also a musical producer and a great curator and blogger. He started this new initiative called Steemit Music Review. And mainly what it is, you know, Steemit, every day we have so many new musicians coming to the community. We have a very quick growing community of musicians and artists on Steemit and the blockchain in general. So this new initiative is mainly focused on scouting and searching for music made by artists from Steemit. And mainly what they want to do is like to increase the awareness and promote the artists and just showcase the beautiful artists that we have in Steemit. Because, you know, there's so many music every day being created and put out there, but we don't see it because there's so much stuff going on. So this initiative is mainly to highlight those amazing pieces of work and curate them, talk about them, highlight the artists, and mainly empowering the musicians of Steemit through this initiative. And I think it's pretty good. The post is done very well. It's so interactive. It has some beautiful animated, I mean, the way he wrote it is so nicely done. If you check it out. And yeah, I think for musicians, this is great. Every day on Steemit, we have more contests and initiatives happening. So jump on this, make the best out of it, and quit your job soon and just chill at home and steam on.
I almost chose this post too.
You chose this post too.
I almost did. I really, really like it, and I'm trying to form a group that curates music posts because I agree there's so much out there with such talented original music, and it's a shame that sometimes I find it after it's been paid out because I look through open mic, I look through different tags, and I feel like I'm always late in finding these things. And it's sometimes people will post one thing, like one song, and then they're gone for a month, and so it's hard to follow up on them. But I'm glad that they have more initiatives out there to find these people.
Yeah, definitely. And there's something that most musicians I face personally, we face when we come in. Most musicians, they like to spend their time on making the music when it comes to blogging and writing about their song, it's a bit hard for them. So sometimes you find amazing music, but when you go to the post, it's just like a link to the video and there's no story. It doesn't fit with the Steemit approach to like communicating anything. So I think this is where we come, as we are trying to help the new musicians coming to Steemit on helping them how they can blog, how to present their work. And I think all these tutorials that people are doing and sharing their experiences is great, because no matter how much the music is amazing, if it's not presented right, it will lose from its potential engagement and increase of followers and whatnot.
Absolutely.
Musicians talk through music. They have to ease into it.
Exactly. Like, honestly, I'm blessed because I come from computer engineering background, so I'm used to write technical stuff. But definitely, it took me quite a bit of time to get used to the Markdown format, because you have to be a bit of advanced to Steam. You know, it's not like going on Facebook. I mean, it's a huge difference. I'm not saying Facebook is something, but I'm just comparing. You know, Facebook, you just go type and post, and Steam it, you have to look at the formats and make it look visually right, and so it takes more love and more time. You need to be patient with these things and enjoy it.
But if you think about it, artists take a long time with their craft and they do what they love. And if creating music is what they love and they want to present it with the best light, when you put it out there, I've never seen a CD that was made in 5 seconds. I've never seen a cover that was made with little effort. You know, anytime you present your own work, you want it to be in the best light. And so I wish more musicians would take what you say and be like, perfect your art, but then when you present it, put just as much work, if not more, in there, because people are going to be looking at that as a reflection of yourself. And not everyone who sees a music post will click and listen to it if it's just the link to it. Now, sometimes they will, but if you had a story behind there, or if you had a cover that was captivating, that may incentivize them to look more into it. So hopefully we can get the music community to really, really focus on quality post.
No, 100%, Kobe, you're spot on. Like, I totally agree with you. And I learned through Steemit how to be more sincere in my own posts. Even now when I post on my Twitter or anything, even engaging with the people that I like their work. I mean, another social media platform is very passive engagement. Like, oh, like, dope, nice. But on Steemit, it's much more sincere. And this is something I think the warmth of the community in Steemit is just amazing. And automatically they
true.
come step your game up. You can, when you look around at what's happening, you cannot just post a link and expect you're going to make returns and followers out of that, you know? So it's key. It's definitely key to step the writing game up.
Absolutely. And even to leave a thoughtful comment. I mean, sometimes you'll listen to this music and you're just like, wow, like, dang, man, that was awesome. I'm sorry for the spammy comment, but really, that's all I have to say because it was so good. So even that, like, for people engaging with them, the challenge to be creative with the comments as well. So it goes both ways. It's not just for the artist, but it's for the people engaging with them as well. That's what I love most about Steemit, is we challenge both the reader and the writer to be engageful and meaningful with what they say and how they say it.
100%.
I think you've both said everything you needed to say. I mean, it's obviously a fantastic post, and once again, we're happy to be able to upvote it. And a brilliant choice. Well done for finding that, DJ. Does anyone else have any more questions for DJ? Because I've got one more post to do. Go
I
ahead.
have one from Barkin again. What is your favorite drink, DJ?
Wow. When I'm working as a DJ or when I'm off my duty, like,
You
'cause
can
I
say
only-
both.
yeah, I only drink alcohol when I'm DJing, you know, but I'm not an alcohol. I don't like drink hardcore. I just like, you know, drink to get in the mood to set me off. with the
Any
crowd and whatnot.
drink. It doesn't
Yeah,
have to be.
I like whiskey. I'm a whiskey lover. I like whiskey mainly if I need to drink. If I'm with my wife, I go to wine. But I mean, when I'm DJing, I like to go whiskey. I used to drink a lot of vodka before, but I moved to whiskey. And yeah, I don't drink beer because of the belly issues, you know. But yeah, whiskey is good.
You don't want that belly?
I don't want to be called Michka.
I can recommend getting a dad belly, because I've got one and I've got to get rid of it this summer. But
Yeah, the
it's given me
beer belly.
something.
The beer belly is
It's-
very fun. to
It's
knock
hard.
out, you know?
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Well, it's not really beer. It's just not being in the shape I was and not realizing. And then you look in the mirror and think, oh gosh, or see a photo and think, oh gosh,
What have I become?
yes. Look at I'm not looking like the person I thought I was. But anyway, I might do a post on this. Cubby might join me on this because we're both getting in shape now.
This is true. Teamwork makes the
for
dream
summer.
work.
I knew that I was going to your wedding like 2 years ago, so that's when I started to start exercising.
So what are you
You're in
guys
good
Wow.
shape now.
What kind of exercise are you doing?
Me?
Hubby and Nick, both of you.
Okay, so in my garage I've got a punch bag and I have like a 45-minute workout of 3-minute rounds, and each 3-minute round is divided up into punching, light sort of technique, sit-ups, and then hard punching. And I do that. I've also installed a chin-up bar, so that's another thing. And then I've got a workout called Insanity. Some people have heard of. It's circuits, and it's about, each one is like 55 minutes long, and it's supposed to be so hard that you can't do it. Well, they're sort of right. It's insanely hard. No one can do it without a sort of rest. So I've got that as well. And then I've got jogging and a bike. I've got all the stuff. I just haven't been doing it because it's winter. It's cold as well. But yeah, a lot of stuff. Cubby, what about you?
I have a gym called Orange Theory, and the whole purpose of it is you wear a heart rate monitor, and the point is to get 12 minutes in the orange and the red zone in order to have 24 to 36 hours of an afterburn. And so I attend this. I used to go about 5 to 6 times a week. Then it went down to 4, and now I'm down to like maybe once or twice a week. But that's pretty much what I do. And I swim. And what I'm really focusing on more so is what I'm eating.
True, eating is key. This is where the problem comes.
You can't outwork a bad diet, and so I'm told. So I think that's where I've seen the best results with it. I actually meant to tell you, Nick, there is a 100 burpee challenge. She set it out earlier this week, and by the time it pays out, you can join the contest. I'll DM it to you later. I started today. I did 20 burpees. I almost died.
What is
Oh,
burpees?
wow, okay.
It's a form of
Not
exercise where you go on the floor as if you're about to do a push-up, and you push your body up. Once it's up in the air like a full push-up, you jump your legs forward where your arms are into a squat position, and then you jump up.
Oh, I know this one.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens? I have to do 100.
Yes, so you can do it all at once if you're Superman, or you can space it out throughout. It is called a burp bee. Yes. Do you guys want the post? I can send it to you.
Yes. Do that. Okay, I'm going to do my last post. It's done by Fajira, who's almost always here, but she's gone now, which makes me sad. And then after I've done that, I will explain. Oh, yes. Okay, let me say this first. If you've listened in, you qualify for free whale shares. If you would like the free whale shares, and I recommend you take them, you need to send me in a DM your Open Ledger address. If that doesn't make sense, or you don't know what I'm talking about, or you do know what I'm talking about, but you haven't got an Open Ledger address, tell me, and we'll sort it out, because the show doesn't end when we finish. We just open up all the mics and we can all stay around talking. So I will sort you out with an Open Ledger address and explain it to you. Also, DJ has got some projects going on. So after I've done my last post, I'll get him to talk about them a little bit so he can sort of promote what he's doing. And if you want to be further involved, that's the thing. And also, there's something, our guest last week, Patrick Lancaster, he's in a war zone in Donbass in Ukraine. And Facebook have completely blocked him. So I'm going to put his post up here as well. I think it'd be nice if we gave him some support, because he's now, his only platform to speak of is Steemit, and he's literally dodging bullets in a war zone to bring us news. And the mainstream media have completely blacklisted him. So I will put that up as well. But anyway, let me go back to yes, Alex, all the Western sources of media have either blocked or, yeah, I think they blocked him. And he had a Patronus. No, that's his Harry Potter, isn't it? Patreon, that's it. A Patreon account, and they blocked that as well. So obviously they don't like the news that he's giving about the war in Ukraine. They've got one side that they want to tell, and they don't like him telling the other side. Anyway, back to my post. So this is by Fujira. She's in here a lot. And I thought it was a really lovely, sweet post. And obviously, I made a good choice because Cubby tried to get it, but I got in there first. And it takes the form of a dialogue between her and her grandma, talking about the sun and having too much sun, and how it can affect you, and how it can make a baby ill, and how it can make you ill as well. And so she starts off with a dialogue, and it's very sweet how she's written it. And then she goes into details about how you need to get some sun and what too much can do, and how vitamin D affects us, and all these other things. So it was quite informative. It was nicely put together. She had some little side pictures that I still don't know how to do, because I still haven't done that course you showed me, Cubby. But very, very sweet. I'm guessing the amount of sunshine she gets, I think she's in Nigeria. Could that be right? Anyway, she's somewhere hot. So they have a fantastic amount of sun there. I wish we had that much here in France in the winter. But yeah, it was a great little post, funny, quirky. And I would recommend you read it. There are pictures in there, yeah, in Nigeria. Okay, so getting a lot of sun in Nigeria is different to getting a lot of sun in France in February, which there isn't very much. But yeah, I thought it was a lovely post. Cubby, what did you like about it?
Everything that you mentioned, it was formatted so well. It's one simple code in order to push the pictures to the side. You know, you could just ask me and I will tell you these things. And then I will tell you and remind you to take the course that I sent you. That is free. But yeah, I love the information that she put in there. And when I saw it, I live in South Florida, so we get a lot of sunlight here all year long. Maybe too much sun. But I just thought it was an informative, well-written, beautiful post. And I was going to select it, and then I scrolled to the bottom, and I was like, ugh, Nick Wood.
You know, you said there's a free course, but people don't appreciate anything they don't have to pay for. So you'll have to make Nick pay for it, and he's gonna read it.
That's right, Nick. That will be 50 Well shares, and so you can just send that to me, and it's reimbursable once you complete the course. So,
Do you know what? That's probably true. If I'd had to pay for it, I would have forced myself to do it. But okay, hold on. Look, I'm getting some free advice here.
exactly. There it is. That is money. So it's that without any spacing in between. You put the image URL, and you can change left to right. You can even put the word justify there, and the text will kind of flow between it. So I use that in every single one of my posts. I live by that code.
Okay, it looks good. Hey, so not to get distracted from the fact that Fujira made a beautiful little quirky post, and she almost wrote like she was speaking, but it still came across as nicely written. And I learned that too much sun, obviously on a Nigerian level, but too much sun can harm a pregnant lady or harm a fetus. So that's something I did not know. But a lot of sun is still good. So yeah, brilliant post by Fujira. And that finishes all our posts to be curated. I'm now going to show you Patrick Lancaster, who's been his most recent post, who's been shut down by Facebook shamefully, and lots of other places as well. So he doesn't know that I'm going to put this up in the group, but it would be lovely if he saw some upvotes and maybe a few messages greeting from Whale Shares curation. So he'll wake up tomorrow and see that we still love him, and we appreciate very much what he's doing by trying to report truth on the news. And it would be really great as well if we know any whales or anyone who who deals with sort of any information war kind of posts, if we could get his name passed to someone so he could get some slightly more consistent good upvotes, because this to me is another thing that Steemit is about. It's an independent reporter doing something fantastically dangerous, and everywhere else has shut him down. But anyway, okay, let's get back to DJ. You've got some projects that you're working on at the moment. Would you like to tell us about them?
Yes, there's quite a few actually. I would like to start with the project that is sponsored by the whale shares, and where we give every week tokens of whale shares and hair shares for, mainly it's called Steemit Record Pool, for those who don't know it. And it's a community initiative, mainly to anyone can choose a song that he likes and he can share it with the community through a post using the hashtag Record Pool. And what we do every week is we go through all the posts and we select the best ones, and the best 5. Now it became 10. They get tokens, and we are kicking off a digest every week that it goes. In case your creation was very nice, it will be highlighted, and then can also expand your followers and some upvotes and rewards. So it's a very rewarding and cool and easy way to just share a post with the community, and you can earn rewards and make new friends.
And how do we find that? Is that just by following you? We would see these posts.
Yeah, if they follow me, yeah, they can see that. Also now, we just started an account for Record Pool, which is going to be started like in the next week or 10 days. So at Record Pool is the account. I can post the last post of the, if you don't mind it here, or maybe I'll post it in a post promotion again, and they can check it out from there for this team at Record Pool.
Feel free to post it. Go ahead and post it here, and then you can tell us about your other projects as well.
Right, so this is the contest announcement that was released yesterday from the winners from last week, and announcing this week. So anyone would like to join, just check out this post, and if you have any questions or whatnot, you can reach me on Discord. I will be happy to reply to you, and I would love to see you guys sharing good music with us. So this is on the Record Pool front. We have a few other projects going on. We have a new project called Block Mountain, which is inspired by the Block Mountains, how they form the mountain. When all the blocks come together, then they form a mountain. So Block Mountain is going to be an album initiative driven by contests and scouting the best musicians in the community in order to produce an album of 10 tracks made by Steemians, and shooting one very high quality video of all these Steemians from different countries coming all together to make this piece of art. It's called Block Mountain. Also, you can check out the information on my page. We are announcing the next steps this week, in the next few days. And one more project that I can talk about is there has been a lot of music collaboration within the Steemit community. So I've been releasing one song every day on Dsound. And each song is under the theme of the blockchain. Like there's quite a few. So every day I release new music. So if you like to check out my music, support me, or just spread it and give me your feedback, I would really appreciate it. You can follow me at DJ Lethal Skills with the Z. And yeah, just stay in contact. I'm always on Discord. I'm a creator in various channels and mods. So I'm always around. So hit me up.
Brilliant. Have you got any more projects? That's 3 we've had from. Don't be shy. If there's more going on, we'd love to hear about them.
Honestly, there's quite a few more, but it's mostly like all collaborations, making albums and making blockchain music. There's one more project I can talk about. It's called Hip Hop the Blockchain, which is kicked off by Vandal, the guy who started the hip hop rap music for rap crypto. And mainly what it is, he's crowdfunding through Steemit to shoot a video clip that's going to have different Steemit community members taking a 10-second video of their block, standing on the street on the block and just freezing. And then he's going to collect all these videos, and he's going to use all of these faces and shots in his video clip. That's going to be crowdfunded by through Steemit mainly. So they're going to release a video with the song from the community to the community.
Great stuff. All sounds fantastic. Okay, so I've got some messages to get free whale shares, but I haven't got enough. If you're in this chat, please give me your Open Ledger address or find out how to get one, because we want you to have them. we're desperate to give Welsh shares away, and you can use them if you're not sure to upvote your own posts with a large account. So do send me your address, and you'll get free upvotes for Steemit posts. BitShares account, yeah, OpenLedger, yeah, I think they're interchangeably. If anyone doesn't have a Whale Shares, an OpenLedger address, tell me, and we will put up a link so you can set one up. Either send it to Acrid or Krista. Send them a DM, and they will give you a link to open up an OpenLedger account. Okay, so I think we're pretty much at the end now. Don't go at the end. We're going to take the mic off. We're going to take mute off everybody, and we hang around and chat for a while. But first, Linda, we've got the caption, the picture competition.
Oh yes, and I didn't present my second post yet.
Did you not?
No.
Oh, I'm so sorry. In that case, oh, I skipped you. Okay, yeah, no, you must promote your second post. My apologies.
Here's the pictures though. Click on the post. Click on the pictures to enlarge
Nicely
it.
done, Linda.
Yeah, it's nothing much, just a paint collage. I would wish to put everything full with pictures, but you know.
Mindscape Photos Week, it's not the end. We've got to vote on the collage. Also afterwards, we take the mics, we unmute the mics, and everybody chats afterwards. So feel free to hang around if it's not too late for you.
So can I maybe promote my post before?
Yes, do that. I'm looking, and it's looking like Krista has got one to promote as well, because she missed one yesterday. So we will do that as well. We will squeeze Krista in.
This is actually a charity post for schools in Nigeria. I am doing a very similar project myself. I do this every Friday, that I write a post for a school in Bangladesh to crowdfund for fruit program. But this one is to crowdfund for school children in general. The first pictures are kind of taken from the internet, but the last ones are taken by the author of the post. And the fact is that he writes that the government is supposed to provide free education for kids, which it does, but it doesn't provide it, like it gives the classrooms, but a lot of kids don't get to have school books. There is overly full classes where instead of 30 kids there are 100 kids in the classes. Some of them have no places to sit at all, and some of them don't have any notebooks to write in. And you know, I've seen a couple of charity posts, and I don't always go for them because I'm not sure if I can trust them, because you never know, you know, Steemit is such a huge place. But what brought me to this one is that the person writing this post, he has come up with a plan, and he has listed his plan. And I think if you take the time to come up with an action plan, you are going to take time with executing it. And he kind of puts it very clearly in very easy numbers, like what are the costs and what he wants to crowdfund. The thing is, he basically, the biggest thing he wants to crowdfund is books, notebooks where the kids can write down what they are taught. So it's kind of, you know, that's the basic necessity, because when you can write something down, you can repeat it and reread it and actually remember it, because as you know, most information doesn't stay in your mind when you hear it for the first time. It's like you only, I think it was 15 to 30% that stays in one's mind. So I think this is very important to maybe look into and maybe support if you're into that kind of stuff, if you're into helping out education. For example, for me, it's a very, very huge part of my day to for example, to support kids, because they are somebody who cannot really take care of themselves as adults. You know, I am somebody who thinks that helping everybody is important, but I also think that helping homeless adults can be more harmful than it's not, because sometimes instead of giving food, maybe we should give them work, because I've met some people who are offered work and they refuse it because they're used to the lifestyle. So for me, it's the kids that I always like to support the most, and because they haven't yet seen the whole, like, those kids, they've seen too much of the harsh world, and I think that we should see more of they deserve to see more of happy childhood, so, and they should see more kindness, so they grow up to be kind, because that's where the problems start. So many people are not kind because of how they grew up and how they were raised, and that's why it's a very important cause for me to support the little ones.
Respect.
Well said, Linda. No, it's very worthwhile.
Okay, that's it from me. You
Oh,
can
have
speak,
we got-
people. You're allowed to speak.
Cubby and Cotterin, we're going to need you here to judge the competition in a bit. But no, that was I think that was a tremendously worthwhile post as well. It feels so good to be able to just click a mouse and give rewards to people on the other side of the world who really need them. So we did that with Big Dude, and now this is going on somewhere else as well. So a very worthwhile choice.
Yeah, I agree. Very good choice, Linda. And it's good that this person is trying to put the funds into education, because who are without education in the end of the day, anyways?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, excellent choice. Thank you so much for finding it.
Yeah, I was very lucky actually. I chose one post yesterday and I thought that it would be really hard for me today, because it's usually I go through very, very many posts, but this was kind of just there when I was there. So I opened like maybe 10 posts only from in comparison. I usually open like hundreds of posts at least. And that was just there and I had to take it, because this person here is doing basically the same what I'm doing for the charity school in Bangladesh, which I'm helping with. So I think that's an amazing thing to do, because it's not about the education, yes, education is a big part of it, but I also think that some education systems are not the best. But I think it's about the part that you give them an opportunity, and you kind of at least put them on their own feet and help them with learning something. Because primary school, I agree with, it's amazing that it helps you think, like primary school and secondary school, even though it was a little bit overcluttered with subjects that I would never use, it did train my brain and it did kind of expand my mind. So I think that's a very worthwhile cause.
Absolutely. You presented it so well, and I love that he has a plan that makes all the difference, because it's one thing to ask for help. It's another thing to be strategic on how you expect to use the funds that you get. And I think that makes all the difference.
Exactly. That's what made me stay on the post, because, I've seen a couple of posts, but I'm not sure if most of the people who do those posts are actually doing it because I've seen so many things that people use those kinds of events. And I remember I receiving on Steemit chat some messages where people would tell me, give me 7 SBD and I'll upload your post. And I would try to play on their feelings, like, on, for example, because they contacted me after I promoted a charity post, and they didn't really care about, about the fact that I'm writing for kids. They still wanted to take my money, and that's kind of made me a little bit comprehensive. I've always been that way, but I always try to be open as well as a little bit cautious.
Yeah, well said, Linda. No, it's good not to get taken in, but it's good to help as well. Krista, get your post up there. You've got 1 minute. You better talk fast. Come on. Your time's ticking away. Right, now speak.
Okay, so I threw a fit last night at Freedom's event because he never called on me, and I'm a brat. So I went ahead and threw a fit, and I wanted to promote this post last night. So now you guys are putting me on the spot. So I wrote this post. It's kind of like a piece of poetry, or maybe more like just kind of rambling, just about the fact that you can create your own happiness. And so it doesn't really have the rhyme of poetry to it, but I just kind of wrote down whatever came to mind. And that's it. And you put me on the spot. So hello, everyone.
Well done. My computer's being slow at the moment, but I shall upvote that once it's loaded the page, and I shall re-steam it as well for you because you're so lovely and you're so helpful. And now we've got to judge this competition, and then we will take the mics off and we can all talk together.
You have a
Okay.
mantra of happiness, Krista.
Right. Cubby, who did you vote for?
Hold on. Okay, let me look at this picture. This is so tough because I love 10 and I love 2 and 6 and 11 and 8.
That's my problem, exactly.
But the more I look at it, I'm like, oh, but these are all so wonderful. But I think the real winner here is 10 because he grabbed the most important thing, which I hope is the girl in this picture and not the mask. But I'm going to pretend it was the love of his life. So I vote for number 10.
Okay. Catherine.
I'm voting for number 9. I like cats, and so that's why I'm picking number 1.
I knew that answer already.
That was so easy. If you want one guaranteed vote each week, just do something with the cat and post it, and Catherine will vote for you. Okay, so that's 2 votes cast. Linda.
I'm not sure. I like 1, and the more I look, I'm like, I like 1, I like 10, I like 6, I like 9, I like 11. I'm the same as Copy. Wait, give me a minute. Get to me later.
Okay, DJ.
All
Who are
right.
you going to vote for?
They're all cool, but honestly, I'm gonna go with 9 because also I'm a sucker for cats. We have a lot of cats at home, and we love cats, and that touched me. And yeah, if there was somebody holding a music turntable or records or something, he would have won my vote. But yeah, cats would win. So I
Yay!
go with.
Okay,
I made.
Linda.
Okay, I'm gonna go for 11 then, because that's just original Wilshire's tag on his forehead. Even though I love 10 as much, but I think that the original Wilshire's tag is amazing.
Okay, I like all of these. I could be sexist and vote for one of the 4 pretty ladies, or there's another one under there, but 4 pretty ladies who are the subject of the photos. But then there's cameras and there's interesting things going on, and there's look at Snake's wonderful picture with her 3 things she's chosen, but there's beer as well I could choose. But I also love cats as well, and so I think rather than create a tie or something, I will go with number 9 as well, and so we will make a unanimous winner of that. So commiserations to everyone else. But number 9 is the winner. Now, who is number 9 again?
Let me get back to it. Two Flower.
Okay, so in the room.
Two Flower, he's in the room.
2 Flower, you need to make a post entitled Whaleshare's Curation Show Competition, and you need to have that picture in your post, and then give it to me, and I will share it in this room, and we will get as many upvotes for it as we can, and I will try and get some other upvotes elsewhere. So I will beg and borrow and steal them. But yes, do that as quickly as you can, because there are more people in here at the moment, and I think that's it. So we need to say goodbye to DJ Lethal Skills, who was a fantastic guest, and I really feel we all learnt a lot and had an enjoyable time talking to him. I think my team would agree with that, wouldn't you?
Yes, it's been so much fun. I look forward to listening to your music and hope to see you on the air so very soon.
Yeah, I loved it too because I like to find out about new people, and you're an amazing person on this blockchain.
Oh, thank you, Linda. Thanks a lot, guys. Thank you, Nick, for having me as a guest, and thanks for everyone who tuned in. Let's keep it in DJ terms. And thank you for the upvotes, for the following, and just keep an eye for how we're gonna be changing the world through the blockchain.
Yeah, awesome. It's been a pleasure, DJ Little Skills. Glad that you got to come here and share your project with us.
It was my pleasure. Thanks a lot, guys.
Great stuff. Okay, don't go away. We'll take all your mics off now so you can all speak, and we will wish you goodbye. And I think Cubby will close the show because she's good at that sort of thing. But anyway, thanks for listening.
Katrin, you haven't said much. Katrin, bless us with your voice, please.
I didn't get to sleep much. I went to sleep, I think it was around 12 in the day today, and then I got up.
Well, thank you for making it out. And thank you, everyone, for being here. We appreciate y'all. You have been listening to DJ Lethal Skills. Give him a follow, upvote all his posts, and we will see you next week. Don't forget, leave your post and post promotion, and maybe next week you'll be the lucky one that we select. Until then, have a great night.